Welcome back, guys. If you're a huge fan of giant fire-breathing lizards, this next top 10 is for you. It's top 10 dragons. Stay tuned. At number 10 is Onaga from Mortal Kombat. The long-dead ruler of the Outworld is back and he wants his throne. Using his incredible strength and knocking down all who oppose him, Onaga is one seriously hard fight. Onaga's power has been rivaled to that of the One Being, a legendary creature who once fought the Elder Gods. At number 9 is Deathwing from World of Warcraft. Huge and powerful, Deathwing has the power to destroy landscapes with one flyby, setting everything on fire, changing the world of Azeroth permanently. At number 8 is Volvaga from The Legend of Zelda. The keeper of the Fire Temple, Volvaga, though not being particularly hard, still served as a memorable fight on your journey. At number 7 is the Archdemon from Dragon Age. The old gods in dragon form and tainted with evil, that can't be good. Able to control the Darkspawn horde combined with his powerful claws and dragon breath, he is one tough lizard. At number 6 is the Ender Dragon from Minecraft. The blocky dragon of this list, the Ender Dragon flies around in his own world, never landing and destroying anything he flies through. The Ender Dragon is able to heal from floating crystals on pillars, making him really annoying to get rid of. At number 5 is Alduin from Skyrim. The Eater of Worlds and the power to bring back dragons from the dead, Alduin has some incredible power. The only way to defeat him is to enter the afterlife for the final fight. And number 4 is Ridley from the Metroid series. A space pirate with wings and can breathe fire? That's some kind of terror only a powered up mercenary suit can take down. And number 3 is Charizard from the Pokemon series. This Pokemon is one you don't mess with. It spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders, and is known to cause forest fires unintentionally. And number 2 is Bahamut from the Final Fantasy series. Bahamut changes from game to game, but one thing is for sure, he is fearsome. One of the more prominent summons in the Final Fantasy games, this Dragon King will lay waste to all who oppose you with a Mega Flare. And the number 1 dragon is Spyro. Spyro is one of the most well-known dragons in gaming. His purple scales and childish charm makes him a dragon not to mess with, using elemental powers and his large horns to pummel his enemies.
So not all the dragons on that list were like big, mean, fiery. I mean, some of them were more
Squishy.
cute, squishy.
Has attitude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or even just purely made out of squares, like the Ender Dragon.
Yeah.
Spyro is definitely a plus for me being number 1 because I always played the first 3 Spyro games I think on the PlayStation
1, yeah.
Pretty great.
I never got past the first one.
Yeah. And now whatever he's become, I try to stay away from it. The little.
What have you become?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want you as a toy.
He's the leader of the Skylander squad now, I believe.
Really, the only other really well-known one on there for me is Charizard because it's Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
but I'm not really a big fan of fantasy. So, what do you guys think of the other, other things in the list?
Bahamut. Final Fantasy represent.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad Deathwing got a mention from World of Warcraft because even though I'm not a huge World of Warcraft fan, I really like how the developers managed to create a way to just completely rebuild the world that they'd created, which generally for MMOs kind of stagnates after a while, and they've just gone, okay, we're going to revamp the whole thing by just throwing a dragon in there to just blow everything up.
Okay, but right now, Vince is taking us through Doom.
Doom was the very first PC game I ever played and is a science fiction horror first-person shooter that was created by ID Software in 1993. It is considered one of the most significant and influential titles in the video game industry for having ushered in the popularity of the first-person shooter genre. The Ultimate Doom, an updated release of the original game featuring a 4th episode, was released in 1995 and sold at retail. The phrase Doom clone was used initially to describe games that we now know as first-person shooters. In Doom, players take the role of a space marine, fighting their way through hordes of invading demons from hell. The marine was never named due to John Romero wanting the player to feel more involved in the game, but he soon became popularly known as Doom Guy. The objective of each level is simply to locate the exit room that leads to the next area, marked with an exit sign and or a special kind of door, while surviving all hazards along the way. Among the obstacles are demonic monsters, pits of toxic or radioactive slime, and locked doors which require a keycard or a remote switch to be located. The levels are sometimes labyrinth-like and feature plenty of items such as additional ammo, health packs and other power-ups along the way, as well as the occasional secret area which are not immediately obvious as a reward for players who explore more carefully. There are 5 different difficulty levels and each one is dramatically different. I don't think they knew what overpowered meant back then. With 1/3 of the game distributed as shareware, Doom was played by an estimated 10 million people within 2 years of its release, spawning a massive gaming subculture. In addition to making the FPS genre a huge hit, it pioneered immersive 3D graphics, networked multiplayer gaming and supported custom mods. Its graphic violence as well as its satanic imagery made it the subject of controversy. It was widely praised in the gaming press and was broadly considered to be one of the most important influential titles in gaming history. In 1996, it was ranked 5th as the best video game of all time. The Doom franchise was later continued up with the follow of Doom 2 Hell on Earth, and numerous mission packs including master levels for Doom 2 and Final Doom. Originally released for PC-DOS, the games have been later ported to numerous other platforms. Once the game's source code was released in 1997, it spawned even more adaptations, as fans further ported the code to countless devices. Though this game has been modded over and over again, the best mod I've found to date has to be the Brutal Doom mod. It adds the free look feature, copious amounts of gore, more bad guys and more weapons, plus countless other additions such as reload animations and even shell casings lying on the floor. The series started to lose mainstream appeal as the technology of the Doom game engine was surpassed in the mid-1990s, although fans have continued making modifications to the original to this day. The Doom series remained dormant between 1996 and 2000 until Doom 3 was announced. It was a retelling of the original Doom using entirely new graphics technology. It helped renew interest in the franchise when it was released in 2004 with an association to the Doom movie. I've watched the Doom movie and understood a few of the references, but there wasn't really much in it that connected the name Doom to it. The massive jump in graphics from Doom 1 and 2 to Doom 3 made people, including me, feel as though the series went from a mildly disturbing fast shoot-'em-up to a terrifying and traumatic nightmare. Don't get me wrong, Doom 3 was a ton of fun, but it didn't stay true to the previous 2 games. This was bound to happen due to the world constantly advancing in the game industry. There aren't many modern games that are like the original Doom. The very first Doom game will always have a place in history for being one of the main influential games on the first-person genre, no matter how advanced gaming gets, and I think that real gamers will know and agree with this. Hopefully, future Doom games can capture the feel of Doom 1 and 2 and bring it to the modern age.